It's not always the case. In fact, it's very often not the case that businesses come to us and they need more leads. Sometimes they have enough leads, they just need more conversations with the right type of lead. Now, if that sounds like you, stay tuned for this case study. G'day guys, Matt here from Tradie Web Guys, and I'm coming at you today with a case study for a client of ours who is based down in South Australia near Adelaide, and he is an electrical contractor, so he's an electrician. Now, we have this conversation happen quite often with potential customers of ours where they need to get a system implemented and they need their online presence showcased in a way which makes them not so much a lead generation machine, but they need to showcase the type of work they do so they can communicate better with the ideal customers that they want to work for. This specific case study is exactly that, and I'll tell you why in a couple of seconds. First and foremost, this guy does not serve the residential market. Now that's a big flag, right? If you do serve a residential market, then you need a lot of jobs and you need a high turnover of these projects. This guy specifically services industrial clients, and he's even more niche than that. So the message needed to be relayed very clearly that this is the type of work he does. Now, the reason this becomes super relevant is because he's not interested in having hundreds and hundreds of conversations with people. It's not your typical marketing campaign. In fact, this client and many clients that we work with, they don't even actually need a marketing campaign. Now, many of you might be laughing and shaking your head at that comment, but the reality is there's not a huge amount of people going onto the search engines to look at the work that this type of specific client does. That might sound ridiculous, but the reality is there's not a lot of people out there jumping on Google trying to find an electrician to the same caliber of which the client that we're talking about today in this case study represents. So he's very niched. He works in an industry which does not have a huge amount of clients, but he doesn't need a huge amount of clients. For this to be a successful campaign, he needs one client for it to pay off. And if any more come out of it, then that's a serendipity. So what I think you guys really need to consider, and what I would love to communicate to you, is if you are in a vertical or you're in a business that doesn't necessarily need a lot of leads to make this whole process or this whole campaign worthwhile, sometimes you might be led astray by other agencies in the space of them telling you that you do need ongoing marketing in order to get these results. But we have seen over and over again, time after time, that what I'm going to show you today is a fantastic foundation which can enable you to, first of all, attract the right type of customers, second of all, convert those customers, and thirdly, and potentially most importantly, to showcase you and position you as an expert and an authority within that specific vertical. So I'm just going to jump in here to the website and I'm going to show you exactly what the before and after look like. Now, as I mentioned before, this is his before website. At a glance, it's fine. It's functional. It's got phone numbers. It's got Google Plus, which doesn't exist anymore. It's outdated, sure. There are service pages, although they may, and the navigation is perhaps not too bad. But you'll notice here that it doesn't really lend itself to instantly communicate. Like if I land on this website, he could be any electrician and he may get calls for that, which could just suck up his day. So it's really important that we're communicating these things as quickly as we can above the fold on a website. So the first thing that we did when we rebuilt this, and I'll show you in a second, it does have some content on there. In truth, the content hadn't been very well written for SEO. So in the rebuild, you'll see we have rewritten all the content, professionally copywritten, but there is absolutely no question whatsoever now when we land on this website, what it is that this company does. They're experts in industrial electrical services. So, and a little catch line under here, we help your business save time and money with smart automation technology and sustainable long-term electrical solutions. So it's really clear and precise. We've left some room up here for a lead magnet looking forward, which we very well may put in there. And for this type of client, a lead magnet might not be the typical type of lead magnet you might see on a residential maintenance or home service website. This one might lend itself something more to, process related things that might better communicate to that industrial type of avatar. So you can see here, the website's lovely and clear, it's crisp, the messaging's crisp, there's click to call phone numbers, contact buttons, and the services have all been redone, and they've all been professionally copywritten with using SEO principles. So although this wasn't an SEO, this project is not going to kick off into SEO, the content that has been written and that lives on the website has certainly been written for the purpose of SEO. So although there's no campaign running off the back of this at the moment, the content that lives on the website is always and should always be created, first of all for the reader, but then second of all with the SEO principles in mind. So as you scroll down here, you'll see it's a lovely, clean, nice navigation, all these cool features in the side here, nice photographs, which he's actually getting more of and sending through, which is fantastic. About page links, internal linking to other pages on the website, which is important. And as you can see, it just looks like a nice, clean website all in all. Showcases a bit of the process there, which is cool. So one of the things he's working on is like project testimonials and things like that. Obviously in the industrial space, there's a bit of red tape you have to jump through in order to make to be compliant with things like client reviews and that kind of thing, especially when you're using big brand logos and that kind of stuff. So he has to tread gingerly there. But foundationally, what we've built here for him is a place that he can really start showcasing the type of work that he does, and with the hope of attracting and converting, or at least getting people when they do land on his website now to go, that's a cool project, that kind of relates to what we want to do over here, let's give him a buzz. So I'm going to jump into some pages here. There's an about page, obviously, very important. And for you guys that don't know, an about page is actually the second most viewed web page on a website. Isn't that interesting? So if you don't have one, get one. Service pages, again, they've all been professionally copywritten, nice photographs from his jobs. So it's all been very well done, and you'll see the formatting looks fantastic. We've also got on there a nice gallery to which the client is actually in the process of completing a new project gallery, which is going to tell a bit of a story of a job. So again, we want to get as many of those happening as we can for him, because they're the type of things that his potential customer is going to more likely relate to. And then of course a contact page, which is going to have all the essential contact information, and a Google Maps listing, which ties to his Google My Business page, which means that it will hold some local SEO ranking also. So all in all, that's a pretty good example for you guys of a website that the goal of the website is not necessarily to generate more traffic, and the goal of the client was not they wanted lots more leads, they just wanted to look more professional and they want to be better represented. So again, folks, if that is something that is important to you, rest assured we do hundreds of these websites, and we have done over the years with clients from all over the planet. And I can tell you right now, we've got the system dialed in very well. This website from start to finish took 30 odd days. So including copywriting. So we've got a pretty well-oiled machine there, and we'd love to work with you guys. So please head across to tradiewebguys.com.au. That's tradiewebguys.com.au. Fill in a form there. Let's have a conversation and we can see if we can help.